Hi everybody, Sharon Seville here again from First Executive Recruitment. As usual, working from the comfort of my now completely overrun dining room table. All I can say is a good job I've got a kitchen table, otherwise we'll be eating dinner off our knees, which I suppose is no bad thing from time to time, in fairness. Anyway, today's Daily Quick Burst is about remote video interviews. I'd like to think that companies are now at least trying to think ahead and mitigate those potential staff shortages that are very likely to arise once everyone starts operating again. Undertaking remote video interviews now means that companies are more likely to be new employee ready for when people can actually be on site at the place of work, or at the very least they can provide in principle job offers to those people they'd like to hire but maybe aren't quite ready to, due to obviously what's going on out there. So if you get a video interview with a potential future employer, there are things you need to remember so that you can put your best face forward. An interview like this, it might be more daunting than more familiar face-to-face interviews, but it's likely to going to be as unfamiliar to the end employer as it will be to you. So in fairness, you'll be in good company. And for now at least, it's the only way either party is going to stand a chance of getting ahead of the curve for when things start moving again. So firstly, set up a Skype or Zoom account if you haven't already got one. They're both free, they're really easy to use, and if I can use them, then I know most people can too. If you choose Skype, jot down your Skype name so that you can give it to the interviewer before the actual interview. And if the interview is going to be using Zoom, it's likely they'll send you a meeting ID number or a link to the meeting ID. And once you have an account, you literally just click the link or type in the meeting ID number and you're in. Very, very easy stuff from that point of view. I'd also recommend testing either of those options, whichever one you're using, before any formal interviews, so you can familiarise yourself with how they look and how they work. If you can, do a call with a friend or colleague to test it, and I do think that's quite important. If you've really got no one to test it with us. You can use our sister company's Skype account, which is, it's all one word, and it's First Commercial Recruitment. All one word, and the word first is spelt F1 RST. So you're replacing the I with a number 1 in the word first. And that's just to confuse people. Hopefully you've got that. If it's a Zoom, let us know your email and we'll send you a meeting request and you can cut your teeth on us. And that's open to anybody. Now, once you're all set up and ready for the interview with your kit, the next thing to consider is your surroundings. Think about the lighting. You need to be seen properly and not be a shadowy figure to the interviewer, which I've seen plenty of times, and it's actually really off-putting. Last thing you want. Next, think about the angle of your laptop or your webcam. A front-facing view of you and not your chin or the top of your head is what they need to see. We don't want this and we don't want this. You know, that's not the way to conduct an interview. You want to be remembered for the right reasons. Try not to sit too close or too far away from the camera either. If you look at my positioning to give you a bit of an idea, then you're probably not going to go too far wrong. And make sure that the space around you is tidy and presentable, because even though the interview might be taking place in your kitchen or at your dining room table, it should still feel formal and professional. I interviewed a lady many years ago over Skype, and I'm not kidding, I spent more time looking at all the cats roaming around her and the hundreds of magazines stacked behind her. I could barely focus on her answers. That is something that you do not want. Which brings me to pets, children, partners. And know it can be really hard conducting yourself professionally when everyone is around you. So please try to ask family members not to interrupt or come into the room whilst you're on the interview, and lock your pets out of the room too. You want the focus to be on you and how amazing you are, and not the parrot that can blooming well speak 5 sentences upon request. And I suppose lastly, preparation for any interview, regardless of its format, is massively important to your success. Familiarise yourself with the company, the job, your own CV, so that you can answer questions with ease and the interview can flow. At the end, if you think, wowsy, this is the one for me, then make sure the interviewer knows that. Enthusiasm, not desperation, it can never be underestimated. Make sure you know when you're likely to hear back from your interviewer as well, and how you'll hear back. Is it going to be an email? Is it going to be a phone call? Is it going to be a letter? And definitely make sure you end the call before breathing that sigh of relief that you actually got through it. There's nothing worse than standing up to reveal you've got your pajamas on at the bottom, and smart workwear on top, and you've not switched everything off. And genuinely, I have seen that happen, believe me. Right. So that's pretty much today's Daily Burst, folks. So I'll sign off now and I'll see you all soon. Just to let you know, unfortunately, I won't be doing one of these tomorrow. I'm very sad to say I'm going to be at a funeral, which in these unprecedented times is even more difficult than it would normally be due to limited numbers allowed to be together and everything else. So please, people, stay well this weekend, stay safe, stay positive, and as important, please stay in. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye now.